we've taken to selecting our rams using the Australian sheep breeding values. We've had a strong focus on fat and muscle early on in our sheep, and that will continue. Some of the ewes we've bought have had strong focus on fat breeding values as well. So that was the first step that we've made. Yeah. We decided the quickest way to change was not to change the sheep we had, but was to source ewes that were as similar to the ones we wanted to end up with, and then use the Mumblebone rams to bring in the desirable traits from that side, and produce those big, fast-growing sheep that are cutting plenty of wool and a good staple length.
Dave, we've got some traditional sheep on the far side of the race and some Mumblebone types. So, just what are some of the differences you're looking for?
Yep. Well, this is probably an average style traditional ewe. Yeah, not cutting the length of staple that the Mumblebone crosses are, and the obvious body size as well. You've got this good free growing fleece on a big plain-bodied ewe.
Have these ewes been run in the same contemporary group?
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Chad, behind us are the rams that have done the job for Dave.
Yeah, Vanny, these are the rams that produced the ewes we saw up the race, the comparison up that race, and obviously they're not running in very lush conditions, but it's the working order that we're seeing them in, and so we see a lot of sheep in shows and field days that have been fed up and paired beautifully. But these are rams in working order, and it's the conditions like these that bring the muscle and fat to the surface. We need a challenge to bring the benefits of muscle and fat to the table, and it's a challenge like this, a nutritional challenge, or a challenge like lambing that you should face every year, that put the sheep under the pressure that is needed to bring the muscle and fat to the table. So here we are with the rams that are producing the results under conditions that are quite tough to be running in.
We had a 15mm difference extra length in that lamb's wool, and with my background is in wool broking and shorter shorter lamb's wools were finding the cartings market, and longer lamb's wools tended to end up in the combing side of the market. So pushing pushing more wool into that combing length was what we were also after off those lambs. But then obviously the potential for a 6-month shearing as well once we get good staple length. Those lambs when they were weighed at shearing, the wool cut for the ewes was identical to the traditionals, or within 10 grams of the traditionals for the ewes, and 15 mils longer. And the wethers were actually, I think they were 8% better wool cut, and the same, that 15mm longer than the traditional wethers. With the conception rates, it was 20 to 30% higher over the entire joining to the Mumblebone rams, and probably the biggest difference was the amount of twins and singles we had in the different joinings. In the maidens to the Mumblebone rams, there was 50% singles, 47% twinned. And in the traditionals we had just a bit over 75% singled and 19% twinned. So that's a lot more twins, that's what's going to drive our our higher weaning percentages.
And it's very similar to what you've done with cropping. You're a very successful cropper, and your no-till has been, very successful in this country.
Yeah. No, we started no-tilling after just looking around, seeing what the best croppers were doing, and we changed from conventional to a controlled traffic no-till system, and that's much the same with the sheep. We looked at the research that was being done and the results that some of these sheep with breeding values were giving people. So so essentially we're getting more lambs on the ground, and at a weaning, at an optimum weaning weight of about 25 kilograms. Last year we achieved 75% were better than 25 kilograms in the Mumblebone cross, and only about 50% in the traditional types. Certainly the first two turn-offs of wether lambs were probably 95% sired by the Mumblebone ram. They're all out the gate months earlier than the traditional types, which is important to us because we need the grass for the ewes. They're the engine room, so we've got to give them as much as we can. The reason we went looking for different sheep was because of fly strike and having something having a sheep that was easier to manage.
Well, David, thank you very much for your time, mate.